Okay guys, this is Michael Wataharu here, and I'm doing, well, it's not really developer commentary, this is more like participant commentary for the End of World 6 cutscene for A2XT Episode 1 Analog Funk. Now, I would like to have gotten Demolition, darkychao, and Kamikaze in on this, but knowing how our schedules are and what parts of the globe we're at, it would be nearly impossible for all four of us to talk about this at the same time. And by the time we did, this would have been long forgotten. So I'm just going to do my part here and talk about my involvement in the cutscene. Now, there was a lot of controversy over whether or not there should be voice acting in A2XT. And Demolition and darkychao were main supporters of voice acting, and I was really gung-ho about this, and I asked, where do I sign up to audition? And I think that was enough for Demolition to consider me for the role of Pilly here. And which I did here. Well, Demolition handed me a script to read for this cutscene, and I did several takes on it, and if you've seen the original video, you'll see a link to the outtakes in the video description. I did one take where I added just a bunch of reverb to my voice, and it sounded something like this.
Listen to the tragic tale of the cycloptic race and the horrid tale of horrid siblings, and me.
And when I sent that to Demolition, he didn't really like it that much. He wanted me to try something else. I think one of his suggestions was like one of those radio announcers like, listen to the tragic tale. I can't even do it, I'm sorry. But I had an idea, and what I did was I edited my recording. I cut out some pauses between sentences because I knew that the audio was going to be huge. So I tried to cut it out as much as I can to make it shorter. And then I sped up the tempo just a bit so you could still be able to understand what I'm saying, but still have a smaller audio file. And then I added a pitch shift. I actually changed it into two separate pitches, and it sounded something like this.
Listen to the tragic tale of the cycloptic race and the horrid tale of horrid siblings, and me.
And Demolition seemed to like that version, and that's what was used in the final cutscene. However, I don't know if it was Demolition or darkychao, but one of them actually pitch shifted my recording even further, and to the point where it sounded like this.
Listen to the tragic tale of the cycloptic race and the horrid tale of horrid siblings, and me.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Pilly's voice. Now, when this was being beta tested, a few of the testers, namely Fultos and Dr. Shemp, mentioned that my voice was a bit too low in the mix, and they really couldn't decipher what I was saying, which is unfortunate. But Dr. Shemp took a crack at remastering it, and that's the version that's in the final game here and in raocows video. It seems the people watching raocows video didn't really understand what was being said. That's unfortunate. So you should really go and check out the game yourself, and you can actually hear it for yourself. Anyway, it was really fun being able to read this, and oh yeah, I actually ad-libbed a line here that got included in the final cutscene. When talking about Mishi, the last couple sentences were, I would totally watch my back if I were you. She loves playing mind games. And while I was scrolling down to read the next paragraph, I thought, man, I gotta say something in this pause here. Something that would be rather silly and kind of match with raocow's non-sequitur commentary. And I was reminded of this episode of Rocco's Modern Life called Fish and Chumps, where Rocco, Heifer, and Filbert all go fishing. And the sea captain they hired for the day, with wooden legs, wooden arms, and even wooden eyes, started rambling on about, you'll end up in the bottom of Davy Jones' locker! Or maybe Mickey Dolenz. Or maybe Peter Tarks. Heck, all the monkeys had lockers. And so what I did was, I said, I would totally watch my back if I were you. She loves playing mind games. And Walls and Bridges. And Double Fantasy. She's a John Lennon fan. And that didn't get cut out of my recording, which is pretty awesome. So it's now canon! Holy crap! That is so awesome that I'm actually contributed a part of the canon here. And man, B Kamikaze made some great artwork, and I'm glad darkychao enjoyed that. If I can, I don't want to push my luck, but if I could do so, I wish Pilly's last name was Anderson Bruford Wakeman Howe, just for the fun of it. I doubt that's going to happen though, but hey, you know. So, I really don't have much else to say about this cutscene. I just wish that darkychao and B Kamikaze and Demolition were all here. They probably jog my memory on something I've forgotten here. But anyway, I'm very grateful that I got to do this and be a part of this. And hopefully, I hope maybe in episode 2 I get to do this again, because the response has been mostly positive about this, and I'm really happy about that. And I'm grateful for that. And if any of you have some Coot and Pilly fan fiction you want me to read, send it my way. I'll do my best Pilly impression for you.
Okay.
And I just love the fact that darkychao found this hilarious, even though I didn't write this part. That's pretty awesome. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. I'm glad you took the time out to listen to this. And so this is Michael Wataharu, and I've got one more developer commentary video that's coming up soon. Maybe in a few weeks. You guys take care, and I will see you then.
I needed that.
And just remember, there's somebody out there that cares about you, no matter what, okay?
Okay, so
And hey, look, I forgot to edit this part out, too! How stupid of me. Oh, and I just want to mention, I would have put this out on the day that darkychao put the video out, on the 26th, but I was occupied over a personal matter. Some of you know what that is, so I'm not going to say what it is.
Listen to the tragic tale of the cyclopic race and the horrid tale of horrid siblings, and me. Due to their innate ability to survive most mortal blows after consuming red radishes, the armless bipedal cyclops demons were seen as the perfect minion for the great space masters of space. Many of the cyclopses were put to work in the great leak mines of Leaktopia. Those who opposed were thrown into the treacherous muncher pits of Munchtopia. They were only fed when they weren't big, and even then, only when they were needed. Many starved to death several times in a row before being fed. Brainwashing was the best way to keep the cyclopses in line. Do you eat food, Demo? Don't eat food. It's the government's way of getting in your head. They eventually staged a grand rebellion called the Grand Rebellion, after they discovered the ability to shoot balls of fire from their eyes. They were forced to be reckoned with. They were known across the universe as the Great Cyclops Grand Rebellion. Unfortunately, the revolution was staged during the Great Green Radish Famine of October. Cyclopses starved to death, were revived and then starved to death again. Eventually, the armless bipedal cycloptic demons were... Wait, armless bipedal cycloptic demons? That's ABCD! Anyway, the armless bipedal cycloptic demons all went extinct, starved to complete death. Very sad. Never again will they graze the Cyclop Hills or enjoy the yearly cycloptic hibernation. Not will they return to the cycloptic river in which they were born, nor will they create their delicious cycloptic honey. So sad. Months passed. A crazed psycho known only as the Artist learned of the cycloptic race from a book he found in the old library found in the ancient monastery up far away into the north, and sought to clone the fabled cycloptic race as brainwashed minions to assist him in conquering the galaxy. Science was the Artist's first attempt at creating a cycloptic life form. Due to a lack of resilience in his body, he deteriorated down to a curious floating eyeball shortly following his creation. As technology progressed, he was equipped with an unidentified flying object that allowed him to ask questions to satisfy his curiosity. Since then, he's built up a sizable amount of knowledge, but his hardware isn't developed enough for him to speak more than a few broken words at once. He tends to smugly take charge over the other siblings and is currently in search of the super leaks across the multiverse. Recently, he upgraded himself and looks terribly out of place. I'm bugged by it. Pandemona was the second Cyclops created. Attempting to rectify the mistakes made while creating the science, the artist added nails during the creation process to increase resilience. Due to this, she came out extremely unstable and had to be put in a box to limit her power. She's the worst combination imaginable, powerful and incredibly paranoid. Dense as a brick, she will shoot at anything and everything moving in her direction. You seem to have had no trouble with her so far. I would suggest avoiding her in the future, though. She's very power-crazed and out for your blood in particular. The artist's next attempt at creating the perfect minion was Garish, the Lord of the Goop. Believing he was on the correct path previously, the artist added less nails to Garish, but clearly didn't add enough, as Garish came out all slimy and melting. Suffering from an obvious Napoleon complex, Garish believes himself to be the greatest of all the siblings. He is fiercely militaristic, and declared himself the honorary leader of the Cyclops race. None of us take this seriously, though. Not because he's an incompetent leader, more because he's a kind of just a slimy, objectivist jerk. He recently adopted the name Johnson McCain for himself. Weirdo. The artist felt that nails may have been the cause of the violence and stupidity prevalent in the previous two siblings, so he decided to spice it up and use a peaceful flower for his next attempt. Due to this, Nevada came out a little weird and poisonous. Lacking legs, he's forced to stand on his head at all times. Although very content with nature and grass and stuff, he's very shy and jittery. He is downright obsessed with plants and enjoys tending to impressive gardens. He's fiercely antagonistic towards vegetarians and omnivores, and only eats meat and people, especially those he's unfamiliar with. If you encounter him, pretend to like plants a lot. He may be chivalrous enough to spare you. For Michi, the artist decided to add a pool noodle. This, of course, gave her intense psychic powers. She's a real downer to talk to. Creepily calm, cold, apathetic, occasionally sarcastic, and very extremely super nihilistic. I don't trust her in the slightest. I always wear a tinfoil hat when I'm around her to block her evil mind control powers. Her psychic powers allow her to do many creepy and weird things. She's very lazy and emotionless, though, and tends to mostly use them to teach ants to feel pain. I believe she's in league with the government. I would totally watch my back if I were you. She loves to play mind games, and walls and bridges. And double fantasy, she's a John Lennon fan. I was created next. The artist picked a fire as a catalyst in my creation. I am perfect in every way, and there's no reason to dwell on me. Kalioka is weird. The catalyst for her was a Japan. Japan as a universal constant is now canon. Kalioka is a shapeshifter. However, she doesn't have full control over this ability of hers, so she can easily become quite hectic and stressed when something goes wrong. In her true form, she looks like any of the other siblings. One eye, no arms and such, but whatever she shapes into only has one eye. She's a huge fan of a strange, forgotten culture that bewilders and amuses our greatest historians. She tends to teleport herself between different worlds and dimensions and often takes on a role fitting to the situation with devoted devotion due to her schizophrenia. And then the artist made you two, Demo and Iris. The catalysts of you were the exact opposite of the previous catalysts. A bunch of packing peanuts, a slab of meat, a lead weight, asbestos, and most importantly, a kangaroo. Somewhere along the line, you two escaped his brainwashing powers and found a new home with one of the masters of space. It's now up to you, Demo, to free your other siblings from the evil brainwashing as you freed me. Go forth, yon Demo, and smite thine enemies. Be on the lookout for that tricky government. It'll try to impede your progress. Good luck.